Well, after 5 exciting rounds of the Rich Energy British Minibikes Championship, we move to the finale here at Teeside. Join me, Chris Sora, for all of the afternoon's action, where we have already had some champions crowned, of course, at Wilton Mill. But here at Teeside, there are some very close championship races. Some of them could even go down to the very last lap of the race. Plenty of action in store here at Teeside. Join us here at Alpha Live for all of the action.
B&B 2020, are you ready?
Welcome to Teeside for this final round of the Rich Energy British Minibikes Championship. I'm Chris Sora, taking you through all the afternoon's action. A big welcome to all of the audience watching on the Alpha Live streams, both on Facebook and YouTube. And of course, we are live on the PA, so wishing you a very good morning here at Teeside to everyone in the paddock as well. Looking at the track, it's been very mixed weather. There was a lot of overnight rain for those of you, of course, who are not here. It's very wet overnight, and practice was very interesting, watching some of the action on track this morning. A few riders getting it wrong on what was a very slippery track surface, and I would say that we've got some very interesting racing in store on the Alpha Live stream. So here we are at Teeside for this final round of the championship. Brought to you, of course, with Rich Energy, and I would say there are some really close championship encounters here as well. We've got, of course, several classes where riders, one of the course riders tied on points, and quite a few where riders could be looking at a final lap championship decider. Just to recap with the weather, just a shade over 10 degrees. Very low forecast of rain here at the Teeside circuit today. It was very damp this morning. There's a few damp patches out on the track, and that could really throw a curveball perhaps for some of those championship deciders. And looking at some of the shots of the circuit here really gives you an idea. There are some dry lines starting to develop, but certainly some wet patches out on the circuit to catch out the unwary. Riders are preparing at the moment for the Mini GP and Junior Supermoto 90s. That will be our first race of the day very shortly. What looks to be an exciting encounter this afternoon. Races, of course, throughout the day. It will be a slightly earlier finish than normal, looking to finish around 4 p.m., 4:30 today. Due to, of course, we're into the autumn now, fading daylight, of course, and the fact that we have the championship presentations a bit later on today. But we're getting ahead of ourselves there just a little bit. There will be, of course, a full day's racing. Some of the champions have already been decided, of course, but there's still plenty of championship classes where we are waiting for our champions to be crowned, and looking at quite a few of them, it would be very difficult to put a prediction on who will win the championships today. Great venue for this final round of the championship here at Teeside. We will be starting very shortly with our first race of the day. It's the Mini GP Junior Supermoto 90s. Let's have a run through the grid then for this Junior Supermoto 90 and Mini GP 90 race number 1. Sitting on pole position is the 135 of Jack Newton with a 132.05. Luca Wilkinson only just behind, 0.4 of a second down, 132.09. Tyler Humphries third from Daniel Stevenson. Hudson Cooper and Jack Hamilton starting 6th on the grid. 7th for Travis Shaw. Billy Carter will be 8th. 9th for Logan Connolly, 10th Charlie Ward, Leo Solio 11th, and Harvey Saville in 12th position. 13th for Owen Tempest, and rounding up the grid with a 2:10.52 is the number 13 of Finley Hanna. Now, looking at some of those lap times there, of course, it is a bit wet out there, so maybe not as quick as it would be on a dry track, of course, but just goes to show how long this Teeside circuit is. 2.5 kilometres. The longest karting track certainly in the UK, if not the world, and very well known in the world of karting, of course. Most, if not all, of the venues for the British Minibikes Championship also in the world of karting. And just this shot of the track, looking on the live stream here, really gives you an idea of what an urban track this is. You can see in the background the blue arches of the Middlesbrough Transporter Bridge. Just to the left of that is the Riverside Stadium, home of Middlesbrough Football Club. So we are very much in the heart of Teeside here at this circuit. Very well known, of course, as the venue for the British 24-hour karting race. Over 70 karts on the track. So it gives you an idea of how big this track is, just under 2.5 kilometres long. And the lap times this morning, certainly well over 1 minute, which gives you an idea of how long this circuit is. And like we touched on earlier, the weather could yet play a part. Looking at the forecasts here, it does seem to be a dry day. It's pretty much a dry meeting, you would say. And watching the riders in the practice earlier on in the qualifying, riders were kind of gambling, you would say, between the slick and the wet tyres. Stick my neck out here and say perhaps it might be more of a case of the slicks, but that's of course down to the rider, what they are more comfortable with. And it really is a mixture of different types of track surface here. We've got the first part of the track, of course, very fast, very open. Moving on to the second half of the lap, it really does tighten up. There's a lot of very tight hairpins, very technical parts of the track. So you'd almost like say similar to Lyd possibly in the second round of the championship. It's a bit of a mixture of everything really. Got the really fast sections and a few slow technical parts of the track. But here at Teesside, of course, it is just a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, and a great venue for this final round of the 2020 Rich Energy British Mini Bikes Championship. And riders will be taking to the track very shortly. Again, just looking at the overview of the track here as they make their way out for the formation lap. It'll be interesting to see just how riders cope with these conditions, because we've got, as I say, a dry day. There are quite a few dry lines out there, but certainly some damp patches, and certainly off the racing line as well. There are some very slippery parts of the track that could catch out the unwary. Looking at one or two of the approaches into the hairpins later in the lap, we've got this very long back straight, of course, where the riders really pick up some speed. And even some of the super minis in dry conditions. This back straight here we're looking at now, when they come off the straight towards the hairpin, they can top out at around 85 miles an hour. So it gives you an idea of just how quickly the riders circulate down there, straight into a hairpin. That hairpin catching out a few riders this morning. We had a few riders losing the front end going down. Fortunately, no injuries and nothing serious, but just goes to show that it is a little bit treacherous as the riders make their way up to the line for this first race of the day. Of course, starting a little bit earlier than normal. Usually we're looking around a midday start. We're underway here just after 10:40 p.m. A full morning and afternoon of racing, followed, of course, by the presentation a bit later on as the riders. This gives you an idea here of how it gets really technical towards the end of the lap. Really long, winding hairpins as the riders make their way back towards the grid. Don't forget, of course, if you're watching on the Alpha live stream, to drop into YouTube and leave your comments, support your riders. We'll try and get some shout-outs during the day, but we are about to get ourselves underway with racing for this final round of the Rich Energy British Mini Bikes Championship for 2020. And you really have to say hats off to the organisers here, the team at British Mini Bikes, for all their hard work. It's, as you don't need me to say, of course, it's been a very difficult year, and the championship only getting underway in July at Selhurst Park. Seems so long ago already, but even in that 6-round time, we've had some fantastic racing. And as we said earlier in the programme, still plenty of championship classes to be decided throughout the day. Some of them, I think, could even go to the very last race, if not the last lap. It'll be that close. Throw in, of course, the potentially difficult conditions, and we could be in for quite an exciting afternoon. Riders are pretty much ready. As you can see, most of the riders on the grid opting for the wet weather tyres. It is still a bit hairy out there. The weather's supposed to brighten up during the day, but we have had some very heavy overnight rain. Very early in the morning, around 5 a.m. this morning, there was a real downpour in the local area, and it's really washed the circuit and made things a little bit slippery out there. But we are about ready to go. We'll keep an eye out on the different classes, of course. We've got the JSM 90s, and here we go. They're on the way. Riders immediately going into the chicane, nice and gently through there, and it looks like Luca Wilkinson has got the jump and taken the lead from Jack Newton. One rider left on the grid, but doesn't seem to be anything serious as they make their way around to the back of the circuit for the first time into this long right-handed sweep. So Luca Wilkinson with a great start there in the Supermotos from Jack Newton. Looks like Billy Carter, the first of the Mini GPs, a little bit further back, currently sitting in 8th position. Up at the top of the circuit now, they crest and make their way down towards the back straight, where they will come flying down in just a few moments. And there we see the number 76 of Luca Wilkinson. Looks like Tyler Humphries has got through to 2nd place and is breaking away from the pack now. So looking to tag onto the back of Luca Wilkinson as they come flying down the back straight. That camera angle really gives you a great idea of the speed they carry into this hairpin. Now, this is the tricky part of the track where we saw a few riders go down this morning. But the leaders making their way through a little bit gingerly there, just getting used to the track. Now, as we said, it's a little bit slippery out there, so caution on this first lap, you would say, not to bin it in those early stages. Round the final few corners, they come back towards the finish line as the pack. Nice start there, everyone pretty much staying out of trouble on that first lap. Oh, was right on cue. Somebody a little bit close to the apex of the hairpin there. Did well to save that one as they went through the water. I think that may have been actually Tyler Humphries, the 2nd place rider, who just caught one of the puddles on the inside on the curb, but saved the bike and didn't really lose much time. Round the final corner they go and over the line. Let's have a look at the lap times as they go through. Luca Wilkinson, your early leader, 1:36 on the button. But look out for Tyler Humphries in 2nd place here, just over half a second down. Still Hamilton from Newton in 4th place. 5th position, Daniel Stevenson, Travis Shaw. The 7th position, Hudson Cooper, Billy Carter, Charlie Ward and Harvey Saville rounding out the top 10. Leo Solio, Owen Tempest, Finley Hanna and Logan Conley a little bit further behind as it gets a bit tasty at the front. Luca Wilkinson coming under a bit of pressure. Jack Hamilton very much involved in this as the leaders make their way down the back straight. And hovering all over the back wheel now is the number 191 of Tyler Humphries. Very close. The riders starting to top out on speed down the back straight through the little sweeping chicane. Straight lining through there. And Luca Wilkinson, a nice line into the corner, defending that line and making life difficult now for him. Humphries in 2nd place, but Tyler Humphries, the 191 in 2nd, having a peek down the inside. It wasn't really on there, but just trying to find a way through as Wilkinson controls the race at the front. Humphries really does look threatening in 2nd place, and certainly Jack Hamilton and Jack Newton, 3rd and 4th place, will be looking to get involved in this battle for the lead. Still quite a way to go in this one as Wilkinson guards that lead. Humphries all over the back wheel here, but of course treacherous track here. It's very risky to go off the racing line onto the wet stuff. You've really got to be decisive to make the move as they cross the line once again. Humphries again has a look down the inside into the chicane, but no, Wilkinson's got the line. Tyler Humphries, fastest lap of the race, well, momentarily there. Daniel Stevenson in 4th with a 1:31.35, so the pace really picking up on that 2nd lap. The leaders make their way around the back of the circuit. Once again, Wilkinson pulls away slightly from Tyler Humphries. Still Jack Hamilton, Daniel Stevens and Jack Newton battling a little bit further behind. Travis Shaw in 6th position. 7th, Hudson Cooper, Billy Carter, Charlie Ward and Leo Solly running out the top 10. Harvey Saville and Logan Conley moves up to 12th from Owen Tempest as the leaders make their way through. Finley Hanna just a little bit further behind in 14th position. Leaders coming down the back straight through the sweeping chicane down towards the hairpin. You can see the dry line starting to develop through there. Wilkinson keeping the momentum going through there, making life difficult here for Humphries in 2nd. A little bit rough through the hairpin there for Wilkinson, the leader, but doesn't lose much time. Humphries is right on him though in 2nd place as they make their way towards this sweeping long right-hander. Back towards the finish they go. They've got one more hairpin section to go as they make their way back towards us. Humphries taking the inside line through the sweeping hairpin there, just trying to grab a bit of track distance on Wilkinson, the race leader. Leader of the Mini GPs, incidentally, is the 8th position, Billy Carter from Charlie Ward in 9th on the 127. Those riders a little bit further back. And Finley Hanna rounding up the field, 14th, 3rd of the Mini GPs. All the action here at the front, though, as Humphries tries to gain on Wilkinson, who seems to pull away at the start of the lap, has a nice line through that first chicane and just seems to edge away slightly from Tyler Humphries. The top 2 riders starting now to pull away from the rest of the field. Luca Wilkinson, fastest lap of the race, 1:31.31. Battle starting to develop for 3rd place with Jack Hamilton, Daniel Stevenson and Jack Newton 3rd, 4th and 5th. As we look at the number 11 of Stevenson, all over the back of Jack Hamilton as they make their way down the back straight. Losing ground slightly on the leaders, but they're still very much within range as Stevenson has a look at Hamilton. And there he goes into the chicane. So Jack Hamilton drops to fourth, Daniel Stevenson up to third. Nice move into the sweeping chicane as they start to pick their way through some of the slow riders. I think that may have been Finley Hanna, 14th place, just being lapped, conceding the racing line to the leading riders. Well, certainly here, Jack Hamilton, I don't think he's throwing in the towel by any stretch. Stevenson trying to pull away. Now, Daniel Stevenson is up to third, and I am sure we'll have visions of catching up on the two leaders who are starting to get close. This little battle here, third through to fifth, could still yet get involved with the leaders. Tyler Humphries hasn't yet made a move for the lead. Can't quite get close enough to get the front wheel down the inside, possibly, but if those two start trading paint, so to speak, these three riders who are just crossing the line now could get involved. And Stevenson, incidentally, fastest lap of the race, only just 131.24, but third through to fifth, certainly looking threatening as the leaders make their way towards the top of the circuit. It's still Luca Wilkinson, your race leader, as Humphries starts to close up down the back straight. It's looking very close indeed. Around the back of the circuit they go. Stevenson still in third, but he can't shake off Hamilton. Jack Hamilton, there he is, just cresting the little knoll there around the back of the circuit towards the straight. And here they come back towards us once again. And Wilkinson still leads. Hamilton just trying to find a way through, but of course they're down the straight now. The bike's topping out on speed. But look at Stevenson in third. He is really flying down that back straight, has a nice line through the chicane. Starts to break away slightly from Jack Hamilton. And he could yet get involved. Only 1.5 seconds covering first and third. So this race is still wide open with 4 laps to go. Through the technical part of the track, through the chicanes. Gets a bit slower through here. Good smooth line choice is essential as they make their way through this sweeping right-hand hairpin, a bold corner here. Humphries had a nice line on the previous lap and still sticking to that inside line, but Wilkinson again taking that line a little bit tighter. Possibly a bit more grip on the inside. But Humphries does seem quick through these final twisty corners, back towards the finish line. Can't find a way through at the moment though, and Stevenson in third, the number 11, certainly looking to get involved. You cannot write off Jack Hamilton or Jack Newton either as they cross the line. The pace picking up once again. We're into the 130s now. Daniel Stevenson, another fastest lap, 130.74, 1.27 seconds covering the top 3 riders. Hamilton and Newton, 4th and 5th, as Travis Shaw just a bit further behind. Hudson Cooper, Billy Carter, Charlie Ward, and Leo Solier rounding out the top 10. Harvey Saville, Logan Connolly, Owen Tempest, and Finley Hanna are a bit further behind. I think Hanna may have been the rider who was stalled on the line, so got adrift a little bit from the rest of the pack, but still circulating. And third from the mini GPs. Here they come down the back straight as look at Stevenson. Here he comes. He's got a flying line down that straight, goes down the inside of Stevenson, gets the move done before the sweeping chicane, and here they come into the hairpin. Stevenson looking very threatening indeed with 3 laps to go. There's a slower rider just in front. I think that may be the 13th place of Owen Tempest, who holds his line. Tempest just letting the leaders find their own way through as Humphries dropping to third now from the very threatening looking number 11 of Daniel Stevenson. The race coming to a close now. We'll have 2 laps to go next time round. Oh, Wilkinson runs wide. Oh, he's had mechanical trouble. I think he's trying to bump start the bike, I believe. Has he got it going? Oh, he looks disappointed to say the least, you would say there. Poor Luca Wilkinson, there's something wrong. Well, he's no response from the throttle there. The bike is out of action. He is out of the race. What a shame for Luca Wilkinson on that right-hand sweep, and you can see the disappointment. He was running so well, and Wilkinson is he is furious, and who can blame him? He looks distraught as he kicks the tyre barrier in despair. Really bad luck for him there. Some sort of mechanical issue would see him on that right-hand hairpin, which means, of course, all of a sudden, Tyler Humphries has gone back through into the lead. He lost that second place momentarily to Daniel Stevenson as they make their way down the back straight. So here we go. The battle of a second has turned into the battle for the lead. Humphries guarding the inside line on the exit of the hairpin. He knows that Stevenson's quick through there, but Stevenson a sweep round the outside as they make their way down to the chicane. Nice move there. Daniel Stevenson really does have that back straight nailed, you would say. Through the hairpin they go. Stevenson back into the lead now from Humphries, but Humphries is quick on this final part of the track. Here he comes down the inside, has a look into the chicane, but no. Stevenson holds that line. Here we go through the right-hand bowl corner that claimed the 76 of Luca Wilkinson last time round. The two leaders making their way through. Humphries down the inside. Oh, he parks it down there now. Is he going to lose traction on the outside here? Will Stevenson be able to repass? No. Nice move there from Humphries, who holds the inside line on the hairpin. Really does have that final part of the lap nailed as they make their way back towards the finish line once again. One lap to go, so Humphries back into the lead, but Stevenson, the riders do seem to be quicker on different parts of the track. Jack Hamilton still third from Jack Newton, Travis Shaw now up to fifth. Of course, all these riders promoted a position. Hudson Cooper, Billy Carter, Charlie Ward, Leo Soliu, ninth, Logan Connolly rounding out the top 10. Leaders now up towards the top of the circuit. Was that Charlie Ward in front? Possibly. Here they come to the top of the circuit as they make their way to the top. Oh, bulked slightly by the back mark. A bit of bad luck there as the unfortunate Finley Hanlon just touched the back wheel of Jack Hamilton, but nothing serious. The riders keep on going, and it looks like Stevenson lost a bit of time on that back section. Jack Newton in fourth, still involved in this one, but Tyler Humphries may have done enough here through the chicane for the final time. Stevenson trying to catch up, but he lost his advantage at the top of the circuit. He's very quick down the back straight, but he wasn't close enough to go for the pass. And Humphries, this is the part of the track where he seems quite strong here, so he's going to make that bike very wide and park it on those apexes of the corners. Here he comes towards the bowl corner for the last time. Dramatic first race here as Humphries, nice and neatly through the bowl corner. You can see the dry line starting to develop there on the inside. Into the hairpin once again. He's got enough in the bag. He's got to try and keep the bike on two wheels here. Just saw the bike squirreling through the hairpin there. It is very treacherous in places, so Humphries had a bit of work to do. Here he comes though, round the final few corners up towards the finish line, and the 191 of Tyler Humphries takes the first race win of the day. Daniel Stevenson a little bit further behind. Jack Hamilton third, Jack Newton in fourth. Travis Shaw is going to come through in fifth any moment now. So the number 4 of Travis Shaw, a little bit further behind from that battle for the lead. He will finish almost certainly in fifth place. You have to say though, bad luck to Luca Wilkinson, who looked very strong, but some sort of mechanical issue it would appear on the stream back to the finish line, out of the race, and hopefully we'll see him a bit later on. There goes Travis Shaw in fifth position. Hudson Cooper crossing the line on the 217 in sixth position. Here comes the winner of the Mini GPs. That's the 85 of Billy Carter, seventh position. So Billy Carter seventh on the track, first of Mini GPs. Charlie Ward, there he goes, finishing in eighth position. Owen Tempest and Finley Hanna crossing the line 12th and 13th respectively. And oh, look at his face there though. Poor Luca Wilkinson. I think he thought he had that one, if not in the bag, it was certainly looking very strong for the victory. And oh dear, you have to feel for him. He's getting a cuddle there just at the top of the track to console him. But what a shame, because he was running so well. And you certainly can't blame him for being disappointed. That is a terrible shame. And let's hope that whatever that problem is with the bike, that Wilkinson will be back for race number 2 a bit later on, because he certainly was a contender for victory. But bad luck for him. But congratulations though to Tyler Humphries, our first race winner of the day in what was a enthralling race for the Supermoto 90s and Mini GP 90s. Welcome back to Teeside and our second group of races. We start with the Junior Supermoto 90 Mini GP 90 race number 2. Let's recap the grid. Jack Newton from Luca Wilkinson, Tyler Humphries, Daniel Stevenson 4th, Hudson Cooper and Jack Hamilton in 6th place, Travis Shaw in 7th, Billy Carter in 8th from Logan Connolly, Charlie Ward, Leo Soliu, Harvey Saville in 12th position, 13th for Owen Tempest and Finley Hanna, rounding out the 14th rider field. So, of course, Luca Wilkinson had disappointments in the first race earlier on today. We'll be hoping for better things as the riders make their way back to the grid for the final time in Mini GP Supermoto 94 2020. Just a reminder, of course, to keep yourselves posted on the Rich Energy, British Mini Bikes Facebook and Instagram pages. Plans are being made for 2021 and, of course, a full calendar schedule, all being well for 21. Keep an eye out on the social media pages for more details as they rise in the next few weeks. Plans are certainly afoot. We hope you've enjoyed this 2020 season. Still a bit more racing to go, of course. We've got one more block of racing for 2020, starting with this Mini GP Junior Supermoto 90 as the riders line up. What's been a good afternoon here at Teesside. Plenty of action. And as we said, we were just looking at the weather forecast, which looks a little bit cagey in the afternoon. Might rain as the afternoon goes on. Let's certainly hope it stays dry. But looking good for these riders. There's Wilkinson, 76, who had that trouble in the first race. Riders are about ready to go. I think they're all in position, waiting now for the green flag. Riders are ready. And for the final time in 2020 for JSM and Mini GP 90, away they go. So let's hope we have a great afternoon's racing here at Teesside. Still plenty of racing to get underway. And here they come to the top of the circuit. Looks like a good start for Jack Newton, actually, getting past Luca Wilkinson. Very close at the start. Oh, there's Wilkinson down the inside. Doesn't quite pay off, though. Daniel Stevenson still very much in there as well. And look at Wilkinson. He DNF'd the first race and is in a no-nonsense mood. As this gets underway, Billy Carter and Charlie Ward battling for the lead of Mini GP. But a good start. Everyone's staying out of trouble on that first lap. Down the back straight they go. Wilkinson has the jump on Jack Newton. Here they come. Oh, look, round the outside as well. Daniel Stevenson. Oh, and that was almost 3 abreast into the chicane. Somebody had to give. And unfortunately for Jack Newton, it was him who drops to 3rd. Luca Wilkinson then back into the lead. Looking to fight back then in race number 2 after that disappointment in the first race. Tyler Humphries, who ran so well, of course, in the first race, didn't quite get the start this time round, but now through to 3rd. He's got past Jack Newton. Through the top corner they go. Well, through that bold corner, the right-hander, Jack Hamilton, 28, also well placed. Travis Shaw, Hudson Cooper in there as well. There's the 28 of Hamilton starting to put the pressure on the 135 of Jack Newton, the early leader, and Newton shuts the door on Hamilton. Down the back straight there, down towards the finish line they go. Looks like Hamilton's finally got through though into 4th place. Newton drops to 5th. Travis Shaw in 6th place from Hudson Cooper. Billy Carter, 8th position, leads Mini GP. Logan Connolly and Charlie Ward rounding out the top 10. Harvey Saville in Tempest, Leo Soliu and Finley Hanna rounding out the field. As round the outside goes Tyler Humphries back into he's been the rider to beat today so far. Oh, and parks the bike on the inside. Block passes Wilkinson. Nice little move there, and that's a textbook block pass, you would say, at the top of the circuit. Wilkinson again very animated on the bike, shakes his head. He's a bit disappointed with that one. It was a classic block pass, you would say. So aggressively cutting the rider behind you just to stop them from repassing. It's an aggressive move, but perfectly fair. And Tyler Humphries using that to good effect. But certainly Luca Wilkinson is fighting back here. Can't shake him off at all as we head towards the bowl corner. Once again, it's a lot drier track than it was this morning, of course. These riders were in the very first race of the day, just after 10:30 this morning. It's just gone 1 o'clock now, and several hours of racing have taken place since that first moto. Really has dried out, so a lot more grip out there. As Wilkinson again diving down the inside, tries to find a way through, but Humphries holds on to the lead. Crossing the line once again, still a long way to go in this race. Humphries holds on to the lead, 129.63 last time round. Wilkinson tries to fight back, nothing at all between these riders. Wilkinson looks strong on this first part of the lap. Here they come to the top of the circuit. Oh, as Wilkinson looks down the inside, he had to bail out of that one though and holds on to second place. Now that of course allows Stevenson to close up in third. The top three, 1.2 seconds when they crossed the line last time round. It's all very close indeed. And here they come towards the back straight. Wilkinson regroups. He's got a toe now on Humphries down the back straight. Not quite close enough. I think he's... Well, Wilkinson doesn't look too happy on the back straight. Shaking his head again. I think he may have some perhaps issues with the bike, maybe. Struggling for power because Stevenson got past him very easily on the back straight. Now, whether that was a good line from Stevenson, possibly, but... Well, let's have a look at the 76 here in second place. He's recovered that second place. Trying to stay in touch with Humphries as they head towards the bowl corner. And there is the 191. Tyler Humphries, he's been on good form today. Wilkinson, I don't know what the issue was there on the first part of the lap, but he certainly seems to have found the pace again and is starting to close up on Humphries. And again, I don't know, it's just looking at that bike, he just doesn't seem to be picking up very well at the moment. And again, Stevenson closes up. Now, whether that's a bad line from Wilkinson, I don't know, or mechanical issues, but certainly Wilkinson not giving this one up and closes up again now on Humphries into the top corner. He does seem to have some nice lines on that first part of the lap. Humphries defensive there, exiting the corner as Wilkinson fights down the inside. Oh, goes for the lead, but doesn't quite come off. Stays in second place. Stevenson's still there in third. They make their way towards the back straight. Just a shout out here from Colin McCann. Good luck to 7-year-old Jack Hamilton, currently in fourth place, a little bit further behind this battle as they make their way past the slow rider as Finley Hanna just stays in the middle, lets everyone else get through. There's Hanna just a bit further behind. Wilkinson again going for the lead down the inside. No, Humphries holds on. Oh, Wilkinson trying the exit. Oh, he had a good exit out of the corner there. Again, he's going to try and get him on the exit of the corner. Into the bowl corner they go, and Wilkinson takes the lead this time. Very close race. Into the long right-hander they go. Wilkinson back into the lead, but Tyler Humphries in second, not giving up. Daniel Stevenson, fastest lap of the race last time round with a 128.68. Still very much a factor in this race, but he needs to try and get a front wheel in there, get involved with the two leaders. Wilkinson drifts a little bit wide out of the hairpin, but just about holds on to the lead, squeezes out Humphries. Humphries trying to sweep around the outside, get the momentum to try and keep with Wilkinson. So, according to the lap charts, the rider's a little bit slower last time round. There was a little bit of, not quite bar banging, but it was getting close at the front. They all hold each other up slightly. Again there, we just see Humphries trying to get through. Look out for the number 11 though here though. Stevenson's still a factor, he just can't find a way through at the moment. So Daniel Stevenson in third place on the number 11. Less than 1 second covering the top three, 7/10 of a second last time round. Stevenson very much involved in this race, but he just can't find a way through. He's still trying to get past Humphries. Round the outside he goes, but oh, look at that from Daniel Stevenson. He's been waiting and waiting the entire race, and a great sweep on the outside. That was a really spectacular move. Stevenson back into the lead, but Wilkinson not giving up. Fastest part of the track there to make the move, and a brave ride there from Daniel Stevenson. So a new race leader. 3 laps to go at the end of this one, and it still could be any one of those 3 riders as Wilkinson fights back down the inside. Into the hairpin he goes. Oh, it's going to be tight. He's got to try and back out. Oh, he's lucky not to catch the back wheel there of Stevenson. Wilkinson's got a good line out of the hairpin, heading up towards the finish line. It's going to be close, but Stevenson squeezes him out. Humphries still very much a factor. 3 laps to go. Any one of these 3 riders could still win the race. Less than 8/10 of a second covering the top 3 as they go charging through. Look out for Humphries there as he tries to get past Wilkinson into the top corner. This is where Wilkinson's strong though into this first part of the lap. Into the right-hander he goes, down the inside. Oh, he takes the lead. Now he's got to be careful on the outside. He stays out of that wet outside line, guards the inside line. And Wilkinson is back into the lead. Nothing at all between the top 3 riders though. As Stevenson fights back, he's strong down the straight, and again here he comes down the back straight. Daniel Stevenson's got a toe now as Wilkinson squeezes him out, and that allows Humphries through to second place. So Luca Wilkinson aggressively holding on to that lead. He just drifted to the outside just to block Stevenson, and he's going to have to fight. Oh, he's back down to third place now after all that fighting on the previous lap. He's exactly back where he started, so the unfortunate Daniel Stevenson has got a bit of work to do once again. Still 2 laps to go at the end of this one, and I tell you off for full fighting power here. Luca Wilkinson really looking to hold on to this lead. And a disappointing start to the day, and certainly looking to make amends as we look at the 2-1-7 here of Hudson Cooper, who's all over the back of Travis Shaw, just a little bit further behind. These 2 riders battling for 6th position. And there is the 2-1-7 Hudson Cooper, trying to get down the inside. Just to recap in terms of Mini GP, a bit further behind, Billy Carter in 9th place leads Mini GP from Charlie Ward, and Finley Hanna rounds out that field a bit further behind. Travis Shaw looking neat though, currently in 6th place. Jack Hamilton and Jack Newton just a bit further ahead. Shout out to Billy Carter a bit further behind from Laurie Mansfield. Come on, Billy Wiz, number 85. Carter currently in 9th place, lost a position but still leads Mini GP. Back to the leaders, and yet again it's musical chairs here at the front. Down the back straight they go, and it looks like Stevenson this time has pulled away. Down the back straight they go. Through the hairpin they go, and a good move there from Daniel Stevenson. Back to third place, of course, last time round, but fighting back. 1 lap to go at the end of this one. Oh, as Wilkinson drops to third and is squeezed out this time from Humphries. Around the long right-handed bowl. This time it looks like Daniel Stevenson's found the momentum and pulls away. There's a slow rider in front though. Oh, as Wilkinson goes down the inside. Oh, he had to be brave there and back out of it. Very close indeed. They nip past Finley Hanna, currently in 14th place. And the switchback there from Luca Wilkinson. 1 lap to go, and still any one of these 3 riders could win the race. Less than a second covering the top 3. Humphries down the inside of Wilkinson. Stevenson, number 11, pulling away slightly at the front now. Only ever so slightly though, hardly anything between these 3 riders. Up to the top of the circuit they go now as Humphries closes up in the top section. Stevenson losing a bit of ground. He does seem quick down the back straight though, gets a nice line out of this top corner, so he'll be looking to use that to good advantage on this final lap. Here they go, there's the 63 of Owen Tempest, currently in 13th place, about to be lapped by the leader. Down the back straight he goes, and yeah, that's a good ride down the back straight there for Stevenson. Looks like he's just about held on as Tyler Humphries and Luca Wilkinson get past the lapped Owen Tempest, currently in 13th place on number 63. Back towards the finish they go. Through the hairpins, Billy Carter currently 9th place, just crossing the line with the last riders on the lead lap. Leo Solier and Harvey Saville a bit further behind. It looks like Daniel Stevenson. It's been a real game of musical chairs, you would say, between the top 3, but it looks like Daniel Stevenson has just about held on. Here they come around the final few corners now as Wilkinson tries to sweep round the outside and cuts back on the inside of Tyler Humphries. Is going to be close for second place. Here they come. Daniel Stevenson takes the checkered flag. Who's it going to be in second? Oh, by the finest of margins there. Tyler Humphries in second place. Luca Wilkinson in third. And there goes Owen Tempest, who will finish in 13th position. The top 3 really pulling away from the rest of the field. It was a very, very close race. And Daniel Stevenson, 1:28.49 on the very last lap of the race. Fastest lap. Just goes to show those top 3 running very fast on that final lap. Jack Hamilton finishes in 4th position from Jack Newton. It'll be Travis Shaw and Hudson Cooper battling it out to the line. Oh, it's close there, but Travis Shaw takes 4th. Hudson Cooper in 7th place. The 6th place there was Travis Shaw. Logan Connolly should be a bit further behind. There goes Finley Hanna. So that brings to a close then Junior Supermoto and Mini GP 90.